Global expansion. Advantages in host country staffing strategy is that the new market is a great advantage for the VP position. One of the strategies that the VP is able to use is geocentric approach, which will allow the VP to put a great sales team together. For the other positions of shipping and receiving clerk, administrative assistant, mechanicist, and accountant/controller, the host country nationals would be filling the positions, which is an advantage for cost reasons due to if the company were to hire out of the country. One of the things that HCNS needs to make sure is of cultural differences and compensation is met accordingly to the country's laws. Some of the requirements to get a work visa for Mexico is a passport that's valid at least 6 months from the date that you plan on entering the country, the visa application being completed, 2 recent passport size front and 1 right side profile picture without glasses, uncovered head, and a white background, which also needs to be 30 days of the application. You also need an original letter from your employer stating who is financially responsible for the applicant's expense and salary, and also you need to provide the name and address of the companies that you will be visiting. You also will need a letter from the company established in Mexico to be visited explaining the purpose of the visit, and also you need to have a payment which needs to be payable to the Mexican consulate. Some of the things that you need to get a work visa in Ireland is that you need to apply online and you also need to pay a fee. They advise you not to purchase travel tickets before you know the results of your visa application, and before you do apply for your visa, you will need an employment permit from the Department of Jobs, Enterprise, and Innovations. You also will need to submit supporting documents, which is 2 color passport size photographs that are no more than 6 months old, a current passport, a signed application with your full contact details of why you're going to Ireland, any details of family members who are currently in Ireland, and where you intend on staying. You will also need that employment permit that we discussed previously, a letter from your employer in Ireland, your finances, and medical/travel insurance. Also, all these documents need to be original. They say that you need to make copies of those documents and that marriage, birth, and death certificates will be returned to you. Some of the benefits separation laws in Mexico is that health insurance in Mexico is a government mandated benefit. Only Mexican workers laboring in the economy's formal sector have access to it. So unfortunately, 60 million Mexican workers do not have access to this service. Mexican workers' benefits include vacation pay that is mandated by the federal government. After 1 year of the work, employees are entitled to 6 days of paid vacation. After the first year, the employee receives an additional 2 days of paid days off until reaching a maximum of 12 days. Separation. Employee statement containing the employee's name, hiring date, position, work shift, and salary. They will also have to have a confirmation by the employee of the last day worked for the employer, and also a full release by the employee of all labor and Social Security obligations in favor of the employer, its parents, subsidiaries, or Affleck's predecessors, successors, or assigns, as well as their respective current and/or agents. The compensation laws in Mexico are under classification of total temporary disability, partial permanent disability, permanent total disability, and death benefits. Employers are mandated to pay the entire premium for workers' compensation in Mexico to the Mexican Social Security Institute. According to the federal labor statute, those that make workers' compensation claims in Mexico are required to provide employees access to clinical care, physical therapy, and rehab, and hospitalization if required. The benefits and compensation laws in Ireland is that all persons that reside in Ireland are entitled to receive health care through the public care system, depending on income, age, illness, or disability. That resident may need to pay a subsidized fee. The compensation is that you are eligible for an additional compensation if injuries at work prevent you from performing day-to-day tasks. Also, you're entitled to recover any quantifiable financial cost of an injury at work, not just the loss of income, but also expenses of medical treatment, alternate forms of transportation if you're not able to drive, and they will also reconstruct your home if the injury left you in a wheelchair. Also, in Ireland, the maximum average weekly working hours, that includes overtime over a 4-month period, cannot exceed 48 hours.